Morning, everyone. Welcome to admin. Sorry we're a few minutes late, but we'll get rolling now. Annie, would you do roll call for us, please?
Sure. Online, we have Christina Dewar, Alicia Beckholtz, Martin Kidston, MCAT, Melissa Fisher, and Rebecca Miller. And 206, we have Commissioner Strohmeyer, Slotnick, and Vero. We have Chris Lounsbury, Carrie Powers, Maddie Scott, Erica Grinde, Emmy Bristow, Annie Kathy, Allison France.
Excellent. Thank you. Any public comment on items not on today's agenda? Seeing none, we'll roll into our consent agenda. We have three items today. Any questions on the consent agenda?
I didn't know it was called the Integrated Trail Lab.
Didn't know that either.
Super cool.
Yes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Further discussion or public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will move right into our action items. We have three today. The first is brought to us by, actually, the first couple, Erica Grindy. Go ahead.
Sure. So it is the time of year to bring to you employee benefits plan amendments and also rate information. These will both be effective July 1st, 2024, if approved. So we'll start with amendments. We just have one amendment that we have brought to you all, and it is actually for the vision benefit plan. So that plan for what we say materials on the vision side, so contact lenses, glasses, frames, have always been treated as your maximum is for one of those items. So $226 maximum could get you contacts or glasses. And you couldn't combine the benefit, meaning if you were able to get contacts for $150 for the year, you couldn't use your remaining $76 towards glasses. So we've edited that language to allow for just that, where if you're able to get contacts for $150, you can then put your $76 towards glasses.
Such common sense.
Common sense. It seems, if you're able to make that happen in terms of finding cost-effective materials, it really is not going to have a dramatic impact on the plan. These things are pretty expensive. I think anyone who wears glasses knows that if you can find them under $226, you found a screaming deal. This is far more for people who wear contact lenses if you're able to get those for a decreased amount, and you can put that towards glasses because typically you're not getting those every single year. So that's the amendment. Would recommend that the board adopt amendment as reflected in Exhibit 8.31. If you're wondering about that number, that is just a rolling exhibit that amends that benefits plan. So we can go all the way back to 8.1 and now we're up to 8.31.
Can we do 1 and 2 at the same time?
We could.
Yeah, okay. So rates discussion. We are recommending a 5% increase to just the medical premiums, but across all levels, meaning employee spouse, domestic partner, employee children, employee family. So the rates for all of those levels, we're recommending a 5% increase. This applies to the traditional plan, which is, as I believe the board is aware, that's the only plan available to Missoula County employees. We do have a high deductible plan that we offer to our outside agencies, so it also applies to that. It includes retiree coverage, which they have the ability to get either the traditional or the high deductible, and then it also covers the COBRA premiums. So all medical premiums, we're recommending a 5% increase. The reason for this is we have continued to see an increase in our pharmacy claims, though we are leveling off, and we hope to see an actual decrease next year. We're working on a contract with our pharmacy benefit manager that will cap costs at just right around, I think it's a little over $3 million. Right now we're sitting at we're going to hit over 4 billion, probably close to 4.5 million. So we should see a significant reduction.
I've never heard of cap. Can you describe that?
I will when I bring the contract, because I'll need to bring our partner that's putting it together. We're working with MHCP Montana Association of Healthcare Purchasers, which is a joint purchasing group that contracted with an outside vendor. Prism is the name of the vendor. This is what they do.
They're a pharmacy benefit manager.
No, they do the contracting side with pharmacy benefit managers. They've actually Department of Corrections and saved millions of dollars for the state.
Why do you think things have leveled?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe just not seeing, we're seeing the same drugs on. And so the cost of the drugs themselves, we don't see a huge increase. It's just individuals being prescribed these specialty drugs for things like rheumatoid arthritis.
So for us, it just could be the good fortune.
Of the year.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful that a lot of people,
The first quarter of the year.
a certain amount of people didn't get sick with really terrible things that required very expensive drugs.
Exactly. Yep, we're seeing about the same. So, and then the other piece on the 5% last year for medical claims, so plan year 23 that ended in June of 2023, we saw a significant increase in our medical claims. We just had some large claims there. We're still recovering in terms of the trust assets, which we hold to help pay for claims. The claims that year hit over $12 million. We've sat between 9 and 10 million in other years. So we're just still recovering on that front. Yeah, it is. It's just one of those bad years. But I think it's wise to get a 5% increase this year. Hopefully we continue seeing, trends staying the same, and next year we can come back and look at a lower increase.
Do you have a sense of how that compares to plans that are purchased out there in the open market as opposed to our self-administered, self-managed, et cetera?
I can pull those trends for our Thursday department meeting, but I think we're far lower. I think when I've looked for, particularly last year, we saw a 10% increase in premiums last year, just to remind you all. So that was a significant.
Good reminder.
Yeah, it was a huge increase last year, tied a lot to that medical claim increase. But I think that was really right in line with what groups are seeing on an annual basis. I mean, I think most, even self-insured employers, if they can stay under 10%, they're feeling pretty good. And a lot of it is cost. So we're looking right now at our facility costs with St. Pat's and community, because we're making sure what we're paying isn't out of line with what we've historically paid. Now, we're definitely seeing increases because just like Missoula County, they're having to really consider what they're paying their staff. And that really drives increases in costs because they need to be able to keep up with inflation. And so that's what's inflating those costs in those facilities as well. But there's definitely some conversations to be had with both community and St. Pat's in terms of really making sure that a driver of local taxes on those facilities isn't so impacted by the county paying extreme expenses for its employees, right? Like it's the circle. So it's, for me, it's a nice conversation to be able to have, to just say, look, if we can really work with us with our very small number of members, for you, that's small potatoes. But the reality is you don't want to see the county having to increase, particularly that community that's a for-profit facility now. We don't want to drive, your property taxes based upon costs you're passing on to us. If that makes sense. The other thing, just to reflect on the medical side, that, and Rebecca Miller's on here if you have questions that I can't answer, but we're really monitoring, we're seeing a lot of pharmacy shift onto the medical plan. So treatment of disease has really changed, and pharmacy is really the treatment method. A lot of this is infusions, meaning you go to the hospital and have infusion treatments. Much of this is tied to cancer treatment post kind of chemo radiation. It's an immune therapy that really, it's amazing. It's incredible. Life expectancy is just, is so different than what it used to be. And people are just a lot healthier post those treatments, which is amazing. It's also quite expensive. And so it is just changing where our costs used to live. So you used to think your pharmacy side would be, you know, maybe, I don't know, a tenth of your planned spend. And now, you know, we're spending 4 million in the pharmacy benefits. But if we peeled out what we're spending on the medical side for pharmacy, I bet half of our expenses on the benefits plan are pharmaceuticals. Yeah, it's just a really different approach than what we've seen. And it's
Healthcare has changed.
healthcare has changed. And I think we'll also continue to see this changed. A lot of our specialty drugs are really expensive because of the patents linked to them. I just recently was seeing that there's an argument that if AI is contributing to development of drugs, that patents don't apply. And so that could be super interesting. There's just like, it's just really, it's interesting. So anyways, all of that to say, 5%, I think, is particularly in a,
10%.
it's half of 10%. I'm quite aware that it's a non-reappraisal year. And so I think this year that will keep the plan at a healthy place and hopefully make it so that next year, you know, we can maintain 5%, maybe a little bit more if that's necessary to really keep those trust assets at a reasonable spot.
Thanks. Any more questions from anyone?
I move to approve a 5% increase. Oh, what?
Not items 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I'll second 1 and 2.
Any, Martin Kidston?
Hey, just real quick, how many people does the county employ that qualify for healthcare?
Oh, goodness, Martin.
1,100 plus.
Well, eligible for benefits is probably going to be a little less than 1,100 because it's anyone who works 20 hours and over is eligible. Anyone who's 26 hours and over, regular employee, has employer paid coverage for medical and dental. We can, when I get back to my office, I can ask HR to run that number.
Okay, thanks. Just curious.
Yeah, no, I'll email it over to you.
Thanks for the question. Any other questions? Any other public comment? Seeing none for items 1 and 2, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 3, Maddie Scott.
Hi, I'm requesting that the board approve Peter Donaldson from alternate to active seat on the Missoula County Library Board. Unfortunately, the library board has 3 vacant seats coming up.
What?
And it's a 6-person board. So one is going to be appointed by the city. It's their seat. The others are by commissioner. So
We have heaps of applicants.
We have an interview, don't we?
yes, he applied yesterday. So we have 1 interview coming in. But Peter, he's been on the board and I think would be a good addition to moving to an active term. So to keep that voting in place with not having so many applicants at the moment.
Okay. Okay, all right. I move that, we appoint Peter Donaldson from alternate to an active seat on the Missoula City County Library Board.
Second.
Either discussion or public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so ends all of our business today. Is there anything else we need to talk about right now? Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good day. Bye.